welcome back to another episode of the Korok Seed Master Mode Challenge. We have got quite the adventure today as we track down 20 more seeds. So let's jump right into the action with a seed that's actually a skip away from the last one that we found at the end of last episode. So seed number 561 is just underneath the rock, not too far away from the last one, so we'll lift that rock off the top of his head, grab the seed in question, and then, of course, drop the rock right back down on top of him, because you never know what's going to crop up in the bottom of this ravine, and you need to be prepared for it. Seed number 562 is a short stroll down from the last spot behind this wall that we'll need to blast away, and then it's just a simple picking up of yet another rock, grabbing the seed from the little Korok here, and then of course giving this little buddy a little more shelter as well. And that should be a break from the rock ones in particular for the next little bit. While we were tracking down the next seed, we actually saw a star fragment fall down, and this one shouldn't be too far away or difficult to grab because it's not on a slant. But before we head over that way, let's go ahead and grab seed number 563, which is a short glide down off the top of that pier to the top of this rock formation here. And that will get us the seed from this spot in a relatively short amount of time, which afterwards we can go ahead and run on over to this star fragment and pick it up. And it's really nice where it landed on a little plateau area. It doesn't move, it doesn't run away from us, and we can just grab it as these things fetch quite the nice price at the local market. And while we're here, we might as well go ahead and stop to activate one of the few remaining towers out here. I believe there's actually only 2 left, so we'll want to make sure that we grab this one as it will help us track down our next couple of seeds. Seed number 564 is another rock that's just hanging out on the ledge here, so we'll lift that up and grab the seed from this little guy before turning back around in the other direction and making our way up the hill towards this set of dead trees that are in kind of a box type formation. There's a nice little truffle here on the ground that we can grab, and then there is a mushroom over here as well that we'll want to make sure that we pick up before we lift the rock off the top of this guy's head and collect the seed from this locale as well. And from here we transition into a lot of different seeds types apart from these rock ones that we're tracking down, which starts off with a bit of an archery puzzle. And this is a simple set of 3 balloons that dance around these trees here, so we'll just want to get a feel for where they're going and then loose our arrows accordingly as they swing around those trees. Not too difficult, they move pretty slow, and they are in a very predictable pattern, so nice to pick those ones up there as well. Seed number 567 of our adventure is an acorn that's stuffed in the end of a log, so we'll go ahead and use a bomb to blast that away, because that's the path of least resistance in terms of what we have available to us. Let's go ahead and do that again for seed number 568, which is a short stroll away from the previous seed. It's another acorn we'll need to blast out of the end of that log. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and check over to this little structure here, which we'll need to climb up to the top of and avoid the little rocks that are being shot at us by the Octorok. Pick the arrow up off the side of that as it was just kind of hanging out, and then examine the fairy lights on top of this roof before moving on to our next seed, which is actually going to be another set of fairy lights. These ones run around a little bit of a pond here, and we picked up a rugged rhino beetle because it just so happened to be there, and we were wearing our stealth outfit, which made that a little easier. Upon doubling back the other direction, we trick right into the fairy lights we needed to find, so that was pretty nice. We did go through a blood moon cycle after I stole a horse from a bokoblin, and we will go ahead and use said horse to jump over these 3 little gates. And as soon as we jump over that 3rd one, we will get the final seed from this other spot. And this cutscene animation does trigger the horse completely stopping, though thankfully the horse does not buck you off in the middle of the night like the deer do when the blood moon comes around. We've got another bomb that we're going to blast away for seed number 572. This one was a little bit trickier to do because of it being positioned so much higher above in relation to the other ones that we'd done, but we got it taken care of. Seed number 573 is going to be a set of balloons that dance back and forth across these trees, and they pop in and out of frame every now and again, which is always exciting. Though one thing that you do need to keep in mind is that, well, at least for us, we're right in the middle of a thunderstorm, and unless you have a bow that you've ripped off of a bokoblin, it's likely going to be one that is prone to getting struck by lightning. So just keep an eye on the animations as they pop up here. And with one final arrow let loose here, we will go ahead and claim our reward from this one, and then quickly unequip that bow to make sure that we don't get struck by lightning. And with that, we can move right along to the next seed in our adventure, which is seed number 574. And this one is a small little rock that we will need to grab off of these boulders here and walk over to this pattern here on the ground, though something happened that I did not anticipate. We had lightning strike and blow that tree right into the spot that this rock needed to be placed. And I did get a little bit flustered rolling this log out of the way and just kind of panicked and actually hit the wrong button here, which caused me to drop the rock, and then we picked it up again and hit the wrong button again, which caused me to chuck it all the way over to the other side. So the third time's got to be the charm, right? We'll go ahead and pick that up, walk it back to its rightful place over here, and of course that does indeed do the trick for us. So we can grab the seed from this locale and move right on along to the next, which is going to be seed number 575. That's a nice round number, and it's going to be another acorn stuck in the end of a log that we're going to blast away. And I do mean blast because even though you can shoot it, I like to make use of these puzzles wherever I can. Missed on the first one, so we'll backtrack a little bit, make sure that we're lined up a little more appropriately, and then loose another bomb as it blasts into the end of that log and breaks the acorn. And that's good enough for us for this seed here. And that should be the last of the acorn type seeds that we're tracking down in today's video, so we can move right along to the following seed in our overall adventure here, which is going to be seed number 576. And this is another rock that is nestled in between the branches of one of these larger trees here. Pretty sure that this tree also has some apples that you can grab out of the branches, but we're not hurting for apples at this point in our journey, as we've got over 100 of them running around in our inventory. But we will grab the seed here, and before walking away, make sure that we drop the rock back down on top of this guy's head, though it doesn't do a great job of staying up in the branches of the tree. So let's go follow some flowers for seed number 577, and that is going to take us in basically a straight line to the back side of this wall here. So we'll just grab this flower and then walk our way around to the back side. And then it does take a sharp left turn over to the edge here, and it's just out of frame, but you can now see that it's up on top of this wall, so we'll want to climb over the top, grab the flower there, and then there is one final flower location down on the other side of this wall. If you're not careful, you might actually just walk right on top of it. We didn't, but it was a short stroll away, so we can collect this seed with super relative ease there as well. See, number 578 is going to be another round of some rock basketball, and this one is a little bit more of a difficult shot. I thought that perhaps for a moment we would need to use some cryonis, but as it turns out, it's spaced exactly out where it needs to be, and that one was just a little too far to the right, so we can come over to the point of this cliff here, line up our shot one more time, and this one should drain in with little to no problem. And it sure enough does. You see the fairy lights pop up there, and that is indicative enough for us to affirm that we do indeed have the seed collected. And we can move on to the penultimate seed of today's video, which is going to be a simple little rock hanging out on one of these spires next to Hyrule proper. And you know what we have to do of dropping this rock back down on top of this guy's head as soon as we've had a chance. And we'll take a little slide over to the right here and get blasted, absolutely thunderstruck, out of the blue. And that was not what I was anticipating at all. Thankfully, it didn't hit me, otherwise it would have been a hard reset there. But we can now go ahead and use our magnesis to pull this magnet block up out of the formation in the water there, get the block put into place before lightning has another chance to strike it, and that will do it for this final seed here. Now, we've come quite a ways here, and we are closer than ever to Hyrule proper and Hyrule Castle. So we may very well just adventure in there to collect the many seeds that are hiding within the castle walls. But if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more daily content, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.